Good morning. It's Monday. We're listings to leads, and today we're here to talk about how to get more listings with our platform. And let me ask, since we're just getting started and people are clocking in now, how long have you been with us? Are you new to us? Have you been here a while? Just let me know in the comments panel. Fortunately, for today's class, there's a lot of exciting stuff going on that works. Okay. And so we definitely want to take advantage of this and many of our other classes that go in more detail about how to get more listings. We're going to cover a lot here. Oh, hey, Brenda, how are you? And Barma, hello. And Bridget, hello. Yeah, I've spoken to a lot of you. I'm glad to see you on the call today. So let's talk about some of the top things to get more listings, right? First of all, our listing presentation is a big deal. There's a lot of ways to use our listing presentation. We have it in print and we have it in a flip book format, which is like an online magazine. You can use it for FSBOs. You can use it for expireds. You can use it for great seller leads if you're trying to close them and even cancel. There's lots of ways to use that. We have just sold marketing. We have open houses. And a lot of people don't think about this, but open house marketing was, for last year, the number one way that our clients were getting more listings. I'll show you why. There's actually just a couple of tools that really make this effective to invite homeowners and then have a lot of great marketing tools to help you engage there. Let's go down this list here. And I want to point it out in case you're new to us and you really don't know the expired story. These 3 calls that we're looking at, 3 different agents in different parts of the country, all crushing it with expired marketing. And you should listen to them. I actually have the in-depth videos of all 3 of those. If you want those, just shoot me an email and just say, hey, Vince, can I see the expired? So I'll send you my email right now. And give me 1 second. Sorry, I can't talk and type and look and all those things at the same time. Okay. If we keep going down the website, you will see that we have Facebook ads software and Google ad software. And this gentleman here is telling you that he's getting $4 seller leads in Texas with name, email, and phone number and closing them. Okay. Now we do have automated listing marketing, and yeah, definitely a lot of our tools related to your listings are going to help you get more listings. And down here, Terry Ann is telling you that she was using our listing presentation. She just signed up with us on the second day. I think on that day I spoke to her the day she signed up, and we created a custom listing presentation because she had a lead and she was going to have an appointment. And so I said, let's put this together. And she sent it out. She met them, presented it. And by the end of that presentation, by the time she got through Flipbook, they asked her, where do I sign? And that's a really important thing here. They didn't ask her what her commission was or anything else. They just said, where can we sign? We get it. So inside the platform, everybody has a listing presentation account. There's listings, there's listing presentation. We have it here in Flipbook, but you can also order it in print, or you can download it here in print as well in a PDF format. I have it open here, and I'm just going to go through it really quickly. This is what we call the standard or generic one. It's just, we have it ready for you. It's in your account. It's got your logo, your colors, your headshot. And as you go through, it talks about what listings to leads is doing for you automatically, right? Paid ads, you can run a couple clicks, you can run an ad. We do automated social media posting. We create a virtual tour and put it on YouTube for you. We create print flyers and door hangers and all kinds of things, postcards for that home. You can download them and mail them through your own printer. We have a nearby homeowner letter, which is a super important tool for getting more listings. And then we have email marketing, which always has a link to get a home value. And then as you go through, this listing presentation is closing listings all over the country. Okay. So if you want more listings, you absolutely need to get over there and look at that and make sure you're familiar with it and start to think, like, how can I get it out there? How can I get this in the market so that I can talk to more people who are thinking of buying or selling a home? Okay. So we'll dive deeper into that. But before we go too much further, I want to show you some other resources that are available for you. I know some of you are new because I've spoken to a number of you. If you go to the marketing calendar on the very top, you still are going to need to unpack certain parts of this, right? And, but I want to point you to this page, marketing calendars, this resources. You see our YouTube channel, you see our Instagram channel, live webinars, lead gen webinars, and our Facebook mastermind group. Okay. So live webinars, that brings you to this page right here. And I want to point out a couple of things here. Okay. I'm going to send this to everybody right now while we're on the call. This is where we do our live classes like today's class. And you'll notice that this morning, Scott was doing a workshop for expired marketing. He will be doing another workshop today at 4 o'clock Pacific on expired marketing. And then tomorrow, how you hold an open house to get more listings. I'm going to talk about that, but he's going to go in more depth. He's going to have more time to go over these in these longer calls. And then on Wednesday, another class for expireds. And then on Wednesday at 11, an in-depth call on expireds, and then another workshop for all of you. So this week is really awesome for getting more listings, right? So Monday, it's Monday. We're going to have a class almost 5 days a week, including Friday, just sold marketing, right? So he'll be going in depth. And I think, I was just on the call with Brenda just a half hour ago, and we talked about a few of the things to do to market a home, and we did them together on the phone. You will definitely learn all the ways to market your home. So that's definitely useful. And then next week is next week. Get on our live training, really understand what you have available here to get more listings and also to get more buyers and just to build your brand, right? There's a lot that we do. So I'm bringing us here to the mastermind group, and you can get to the mastermind group right here. There's a button here on the resources tab, join the group. Definitely scan this like 15 minutes, 20 minutes every week. Okay. You're going to see new things that we're doing. You're also going to see questions and ideas from other agents, right? What they're doing. And we'll want to talk about that a little bit later. Bridget's got a great question. Do you have Cliff Notes? Now, Bridget, you have 5 emails from me, which actually all have 5-minute videos in them. I hope you're looking at those. Well, it is true. We have a whole lot in the system, and most of our classes are like this. They're an hour long, and you have to go through an hour instead of like bite sizes, right? Bite size information. And here's a good question. Is there a way to have 2 names on my listing presentation? Not really. Not without it looking pretty bad, right? Now, here's another thing. You can actually, let me point this out. You see this link here, school? You need to get on this. This is like a bit of a work lab for our expired workshops. So there's a lot here on how to market sold and pendings. So get involved in the Listings to Leads lab. A lot of content, a lot of things that you're going to want to have available. And so you'll find that inside the mastermind group. So definitely get there. You'll notice that he's showing you here, these are the kinds of listing presentations that you can purchase, and you can print them through us. You can print them for FSBOs, for expireds, and just a straight listing presentation. So there's a lot there that can help you get things going, right? So the mastermind group, definitely you want to spend some time here. Now you can also get to our YouTube channel. And again, that is right here. So you can go to the resources. But I want to point something out, which is related to what we're talking about today. And that's this video right here. Do you see 10 listings in 10 weeks? That is Leo. Okay. Leo's up in Boston. And yes, he has 10 listings in 10 weeks. Another important thing that he's got going is he has 2 to 4 listing presentations happening every week. Okay. So if you want more listings, you want to have more listing presentations. 2 to 4 would be a good number every week. Okay. And I'm going to just tell you a little bit about this, and I'll send you this link right now. It is in the resources tab. You can find it on the internet, on YouTube. But basically, he's doing a handful of things. He's working expireds. He's based out of Boston. He's licensed in 3 states. So he's working expireds in 3 states. He's holding open houses and running ads and putting all of our tools in those open houses to engage homeowners. And he's doing just sold marketing. Okay. Now, just sold marketing can involve an ad, it can involve print, but he's doing those 3 things and he has a serious follow-up plan. Okay. I highly recommend you watch that because today we're talking about how to get seller leads, right? And that's great. You're going to learn a lot of ways of how to get seller leads. But if you don't have a real follow-up plan, capturing leads, it's a moot point. You might as well not be doing it if you're going to reach out once or twice to a lead. When you're working open houses or you're working expireds or people are responding to your sold marketing, it's because they're thinking of selling. Okay. That's why they're responding. But they're not all going to sell today, right? So you got to get them engaged. You got to get them on a drip campaign. You got to get them on some text messages and you got to call them every once in a while until they are ready to go. Now we have a lot of tools to help you stay in front of those people. And we'll look at a few of those today, but you definitely want to watch that call. It's pretty interesting. Okay. So I'm going to turn on my camera again. I turned it off. Can everybody hear me okay? Because the bandwidth on my computer, when I have my camera on, you can't hear me very well. I'm holding this up because I want you to understand that we make our listing presentation available to you in a very high quality format, right? This one's for expireds, okay? And I showed you over on the mastermind group that you can also buy them for FSBOs or for a straight up, just a listing presentation. And I wanted to show you that so that you understand to tie it back to this story with Leo, okay? Leo puts 40 expired pamphlets in people's hands. He either door knocks them or mails them every month, 40, okay? He also prints up another 40 that are just standard. They don't have the word expired on the cover. He puts another 40. He puts a 40 of those in his market every month. So that's 80 listing presentations every month in 3 states. And he has 2 listing appointments and 2 to 4 every week because you put 80 of those in the market every week. That's what's going to happen. And he's got 1 new listing every week. Okay. So I definitely want you to check that out. And I want you to think about that because the listing presentation, it starts conversations. Even if you text it, if you go over here and look at our website, you'll notice this young lady here, JJ, she was calling people twice, expired homeowners. They wouldn't answer, leave 2 messages. She would text someone, say, would you like to see my listing presentation? They wouldn't answer. And then she would go inside a listings to leads and create a custom listing presentation with that homeowner's name and address on the cover and a picture of their home in it. Okay. So the one I'm showing you is the generic one, but let's go over here to my listings page and you're going to see that I have one for a canceled, I have one for expired, I have one for FSBO and just a straight listing presentation. So I'm going to go to this one here that's expired and I'm going to click on this and then I'm going to click on Flipbook. Okay. And what she was doing is she would leave 2 voice messages. They wouldn't respond. She'd text them once, would you like to see my presentation? They wouldn't respond. She'd go into the system. She'd create a listing presentation, totally branded to that homeowner, right? It's got their property in it, their name on the cover. And then she would text it to him. You see the web address. We're waiting for this to fully bake, but you see this hyperlink here. She would copy that, email it to herself, and then text it to the people. Okay. And when you see this with your name and address on the home, on the cover, and the picture of your home throughout it, it really resonates. Okay. It really becomes clear how you're going to help these people sell a home. And that's how JJ had 4 listings in 6 weeks. That was in November. And I'm hoping we're going to do another interview with her at the end of April. She's probably going to be closing somewhere from 15 to 20 listings in a 6-month period. Okay. And that's really where you want to be, right? So there's lots of ways of hitting expireds. There's lots of ways of using our listing presentation. As you can see that just on my listings page. And to boil it down for you, if you want more listings, you have to get this listing presentation in front of more people. And Leo on YouTube is telling you he's putting 80 of them in his market every week. This guy here in November, John Summers from North Carolina, he was putting 40 in his market every week. And now by January, he's already like a top listing agent in his office of 106 agents. And this video we're looking at, he's saying, hey, the first 2 weeks of this year, January, I closed 2.2 million in new listings. Why? Because he was putting 40 listing presentations into his market every week. Okay. So it's powerful. It's definitely quality. If you're ordering it from us, that's out. So I'm not going to go too far into expireds. I think you got the idea. There are some nuances. How do you reach them? Things like that. But that's what Scott's workshops are about. Let's talk about sold marketing here, because that's something that most of you ignore. And you ignore it with our system. And I want to tell you something that I highly recommend to everybody. First, it's running just a Facebook ad. Okay. So this property is sold. The status in the system, it says it's sold. So if I click on Facebook and Instagram, it's going to say, hey, another home is sold in Auburn, and that affects your home value. Click here for your home value. Okay. So I was just talking to Brenda. We were talking about this today. And I said, did this sell quickly? And she said, yeah, it was in contract in 2 weeks. Okay. That's noticeable for a homeowner if you can sell it quickly. Did you sell above asking? And I know that's not happening all the time, but it does happen. And multiple offers, right? Things like that. Because homeowners, if they see this and they're thinking of selling and you're really doing it quickly, they're going to want to respond to you. Okay. So it's very easy. You just, boom, create that. If you go over here and you listen to this guy, Brian Matheson, that's exactly what he did. And he's in the mastermind group. You can look up his name. He actually shared this video in the mastermind group. That was to train his agents. And he said that he actually was running ads when it was for sale. He got 113 buyer leads for about $3 each. He put 3 of those people into a home. They all 3 purchased homes. And then he flipped it to sold, and he gets one $4 lead. His AI text in his software closes that into a phone call by the afternoon. It's a $400,000 sale and a $450,000 purchase. What he tells you in there is it's not every lead does this, right? It's not every lead. It was one lead out of one ad. And so you really got to really think about this. I think this is a very easy way of building your database of people who are thinking of selling. Okay. And I want to point out to you what happens when you click create an ad. This ad shows up. It's going to be sponsored by your business page. And when they click on it, this is what they're going to see. They're going to see a little window pop up, and I'm going to jump forward. There's some questions. What's your time frame to sell? Are you curious of what your home would sell right now? Would you like my marketing plan? We auto embed those questions. You can change them. We have other questions for you. You can use the ones that you want, right? But once they answer those questions, they go. The difference is when it's a live ad, those fields are auto-populated from the Facebook profile of the person who clicked it. Okay. This is what's awesome about our Facebook ad software is they're not typing their name and number or anything in. It's boom, it's sitting right in front of them. And that blue button that says next, it says, would you like that information? Yes, submit my info. So they know they're looking at their contact info and they're clicking a button that says submit it to you. Now this is the privacy policy. So even if they're on a do not call, this means that you can call them. I don't recommend you call them. I recommend that you text them first And here's a good thing to text them. You see, this is the last page. And they may not know what's going on, and they may not click that blue button to enter their address. So if you get a seller lead from us with a name, email, and phone number, and it says this is seller lead from this ad, you should text them and say, hey, I noticed you just saw my ad on Facebook, but we didn't get your address. Can I have your address and I'll get you your home valuation right now? That's the first start of how to convert this lead. Okay. Now, once you have that, you can go over to your landing page section, open up your home valuation landing page, and drop in their address because they texted that to you. And when they ask for their email, put their email in there and we will right that moment. Okay. And we'll be showing it to you as well, right? You'll on the screen as you're entering it in on this form right here, you'll be looking at it. I would take those numbers and I would text it to you and say, hey, you should have your home value now in your email. It just went to you, but here it is in text, right? Again, you're engaging that homeowner and you're giving them what they're looking for, their home value, right? Now, that's a good start, right? So now you have their address, you have their name, their phone number, and their email. So what more can you do to get them to become a listing? You can go right over here to add listing. Give it a second to do its thing. I'll have a sip of water. And once this page pulls up, change this to listing presentation. Now you can also change it to FSBO or expired or canceled, right? They're all going to have the same thing. What's their name? You have their name because you got it in their email and your lead. You have their address because they just texted it to you. You can save and add one photograph. And that's how you create a listing presentation for one homeowner. Text that to them and then see what's going on. This is the expired one, but there's a standard one as well. That's how you convert. You want to get that listing presentation to people as soon as you can. You can email it to them. We are all getting what, 200 or 300 emails every day. Are they going to look at your email? If you text it to them, they're going to do that. And I do want to say timeout because today not today, this weekend, I got 2 texts from people. One who's actually a client and must have my number somehow. And he sent me this very generic, hey, would you like to see my listing presentation, my 100-point marketing, right? I was like, oh, that's funny. That's ours. He doesn't know because he's blanket texting people. You want to be careful blanket texting people. When I'm telling you to text, I'm telling you to text one tool to one person, from you to them. I'm not telling you to upload, start blasting from whatever software platform you have, because I will tell you this. It's been some years. It's been probably 5 years ago. We were named in a lawsuit, but because an agent at Coldwell Banker in Florida was using his, CRM to email blast people and got fined. And our name popped up because he was he captured the lead from us and then he dropped it in his CRM and started blasting that lead as well as many others. And that was not legal. There was a problem. He got sued. So I want you to be real careful of doing that. I'm going to email or text that person, whoever it was, because I was happy to see somebody reaching out, even trying to close me with our tool, right? I thought that was funny, but I was also like, man, that's not safe, because you don't know who's out there who would just love to sue a realtor, right? So just be careful with that, okay? When I'm saying text, I'm not saying mass bulk test people, right? I'm saying get that unique custom listing presentation with their home on it and their name on the cover, and text that to them. And they will want to talk to you. We see this over and over. And so you want to get familiar with our listing presentation, whether it's in print or however, to get it in front of people. And one more thing about that. When you go to the listing presentation inside the tab, inside of the listings page, let's go here. There's a lot of ways to market this, and I would start taking advantage of that. What you have to think of here, and that's the point of being on this call, is how do you fill your pipeline with people who want to sell their home? Okay. Now, here is the print version and here's the flip book version, but you can also run an ad on that, right? And that ad is like, hey, would you like to see my listing presentation? That's a little bit random for me. You know what I mean? It's worth testing. I wouldn't do video views. I would change it here to lead ad so I can get name, email, and phone number to add to my database. I would, however, try a Google ad because people are typing questions in and the answer is right there. Now, I also recommend this. I was talking with Brenda, who's on the call today, and she asked me a question. What do I have in listings to leads to engage my leads? Okay. Now I'm on the listing presentation tab and there is a full-on email sitting in your account that you can copy and blast out to your leads in your CRM. Okay. It's colorful. It looks really slick. It's branded to you, but you need them to click that button to download that listing presentation. So you got that. You can go up here and copy. But I do want to point out that just over, I think it was last November, one of our clients copied this hyperlink, the web address to his generic one right here, and wrote a very simple email to 200 dead leads in his CRM, 200 leads that just don't respond to him. And in the title, it said, thinking of selling in 2026. And then in the body, he put 2 lines like, hey, I've got a great marketing system. Please click this link to see. And that link you're familiar with now, right? It's this. From emailing that simple text without any graphics or anything else, just one hyperlink to this, he got 17 conversations with 17 different homeowners who were thinking of selling in 2026. Very simple. You should be doing this once a month to everybody in your CRM because maybe they're not going to sell their own home, but maybe they know somebody who is, and they can forward that on. Just keep that in mind. There's lots of ways of getting this out there. There's even door hangers, right? Like if you want to walk a neighborhood or mail things to people with equity, they can scan and see your listing presentation right from that. Okay. So that's enough about that, I think, for now. Let's talk about, did we talk about open houses? We didn't. Now, I did mention it is the number one way of getting more listings in 2025. The number one way. Now, let me make it real clear what I'm saying. I'm not saying it is the number one way of getting the most listing leads. But gathering a bunch of leads is awesome. But getting them into a listing contract, that's a whole different matter. And when you're reaching out to expireds and you're holding an open house, you are meeting homeowners. This is the nearby homeowner letter. You should be leaning on this. You should be mailing this out every time you sold a home, mail out 100. Every time you list a home, mail out 100. But in this case, we're having an open house. So you want to print up 100 and you want to walk them in the neighborhood, right? Let's look at it. Got an open house Sunday, 1 to 4. Go check it out. Scan there, go check it out. But that's going to affect your home value, and go here to get your free home value. So you're giving that piece of paper to the neighbors. If you give it to 100 people, probably 100 neighbors are not going to walk into your open house. It's either going to be some people who are thinking of buying it or thinking of selling their own, and they want to see what's going on in their neighborhood. That's why open houses, that's why we had teams in 2025 holding 2 to 4 open houses every week, because they were meeting and talking to more homeowners, right? Homeowners who were thinking of selling their home. You can even borrow a listing from a colleague in your office and sit in an open house firm and get these tools and drive leads to you. Okay. Now there's other tools for marketing an open house, but that's key. Okay. I want to show you a couple of other things, which is you've taken the time to invite homeowners. You definitely want to know, but first of all, I don't know how long you guys have been realtors, but it seems very interesting to me that the people have been doing in the industry for, let's just say, more than 10 years. They don't want to hold any open houses, right? I don't do that. I just don't like, that's exactly what they say. And I tell them, I think you need to reconsider that, because if you hand out 100 letters to neighbors. The question is, do you have a listing? And you got to do our get our nearby homeowner letter out. And then we start to give you some cool tools that's going to really open up the conversation. This is one of those tools. This is sitting on YouTube. You could open this up at home YouTube app. This is already sitting on YouTube. You can download it and put it on your own channel. But here's the thing. If you have 4 or 5 neighbors walking through their home, this open house, and they see this is our listing presentation in a 5-minute commercial format. Now, hopefully you printed a couple of our listing presentations from the links that we have in the mastermind group, and you got some really awesome stuff there sitting on the kitchen table designed to talk to homeowners, to show them how you sell a home. But this can be running on an 80-inch TV, looking great, and really opening up the dialogue of, this is how I sell homes. Okay. So don't overlook this. And if you're opening a farm, right? If you're farming an area, that's one of the key things you got to be doing, because every weekend, you're letting homeowners know you are in that area. That's key to building your brand, right? Of course, you can run ads. Of course, you can mail just sold postcards and stuff like that, or nearby homeowner letters. That's key, right? But holding open houses, that's going to allow you to meet more homeowners and more home buyers. Okay. So that's the short story of open houses. I mentioned that Scott's got a class going on this week. Let's go back, because I did just mention just sold, and I'm going to tie all this back together to that story on YouTube. Okay. And that is on the sold properties. I showed you earlier that you can run an ad, and you should remember. That was kind of the first thing I said. And I want to explain this to you, because when you run an ad, if you recall, you get a name, email, and phone number of every person who clicked on the ad, who wanted that answer, right? I don't know where you're going to get name, email, and phone number from people thinking of selling their homes for $7, $8, $9, $10 each. Do you? Let me ask that question. There's a lot of people on this call. Anybody here getting seller leads with name, email, and phone number anywhere for under $10 each? Because I really would love to know. I've not heard of that. But with this software here, that's exactly what you're getting. And the reason why I'm telling you that is, I tell people, when you have sold a home, you should run an ad every week for 7 days, for maybe 2 months. That's $50 every week, $200 every month. So if you do that for 2 months, that's $400. Divide that by 7. That's how many seller leads you're going to have. That's a pretty good database. That's a pretty good list. What is that? 30 something leads, something like that. No, 40, almost 40 leads. Yeah. So that's a lot of names. You should definitely be marketing. And I don't know about your local MLS rules and your office rules, but if you're farming an area, a city, or even a neighborhood, and you didn't sell a property, but one of your colleagues, one of your friends, or somebody in your office did, see if you can market that as sold and run Facebook ads and just capture seller leads from that area. That's the easiest way. Okay. But you can also mail out just sold postcards and the nearby homeowner letter. Where do I have that? Right here. And we've got this printer here, Express Copy. They'll mail it to people in a 1 or 2 mile radius. You see the standard postcard here? I'm going to click print and mail. I've got a connection with Express Copy. You can set up an account. When you click get mailing list, they will mail it to people that owned a home for more than 6 years. And you can say, I want a 1 or 2 or 3 mile radius. And they will download that, print it, and mail it to those people. I highly recommend doing something like that. You don't have to use these printers, but I highly recommend doing that. So what I've just described to you in the time that we've been talking is a light discussion on how to work expireds. and how to market sold listings and how to work open houses. And the reason why I want you to know that is because that's what this gentleman, Leo, is doing. And this guy has 10 listings in 10 weeks, right? He's getting our listing presentation out there. He's working expireds. He's holding open houses. He's definitely engaging those people that are coming to the open house to find out who the homeowners are. And then he is doing just sold marketing, and he's working every one of those leads. He's got a really tight follow-up system with emails, texts, and phone calls. Okay. If you want to be really have a serious growth in your business and have listings be part of that, you're going to need to develop a system. What you have here with listings to leads is all the marketing tools. You have ways to market for free on social media, in email, in print, and with paid ads. That's why listings to leads is so powerful for you if you want more listings. But if you go out and start advertising and figure that, you're going to get leads and they're going to call you and say, hey, I want to sell right now, you are living in a fantasy. You need to figure out a serious follow-up plan to work every seller lead that you get. Okay. Let's talk about a few more things. And then if you have questions, please put them in there, because I think I'm about done, but I have a few things I'm going to tell you. There are 80 PDF guides on this PDF guides page. 40 are for sellers and 40 are for buyers. If you click seller PDF guide, you're going to look at all 40 of them. Your colors here, your brandings here, your headshots here on every page. They're all about 5 or 6 pages long. And if you click on marketing tools, you're going to realize that you have multiple ways of advertising each one of these. So you literally have hundreds of tools to get seller leads. Okay. And that's cool. That's very interesting, right? You can run an ad on Facebook. You can run an ad on Google. You could share for free on social media. If you set up your account properly, we're sharing them automatically on your social media accounts for you for free. You could copy this and blast the leads in your CRM, the e-flyer for your database. We've got print flyers, and a lot of our clients use these print flyers at open houses. They'll pick out 5 or 6 different titles, print out the flyer that you see right here, the number 1 flyer, and they'll get some plastic frames and put one in the dining room, a different one in the master bedroom. This again is why open houses work so well. But you can market them just very simply, all kinds of ways, more ways of engaging people to let them know that you have. Oh, Lisa. Oh, hi. Yeah, Lisa's a new client as well. We've been texting over the weekend and talking, trying to get her own custom listing presentation. Did you get that to your prospect there, Lisa? Let's talk about that. Oh, I'm going to tell you a couple of other tools. And this is one that's related to listings. And when you listen to us talk about how to market a listing, there's lots of tools to use. But there is one tool that is designed, it's an email to you, and we tell you to send it to your homeowner. We can even send it to the homeowner automatically, but I want to show you because it's one of those tools that most agents ignore. Okay. And I'm not sure why, but they do. But for the clients who do use it, they come to us in the mastermind and go, hey, how am I getting seller leads? I don't have anything going on. Yes, Flipbook and listing presentation are the same thing. It's that online magazine, Bridget. Okay. The Flipbook, and Scott calls it a 100-point marketing plan, right? 100+ point or something like that. These are all versions, well, not that, of our listing presentation. You can make one custom for a homeowner, which is what we finally got going with Lalisa today. But you also have a generic one right here. And so Scott will call this a 100-point marketing plan. For me, it's a listing presentation, right? And what were we talking about? Open houses? No. Oh, here. No, we talked about Facebook ads for sold as well. Oh yeah, we were talking about seller social media. So this is really cool. You see this? We actually send this to you and we tell you, hey, forward this part of the text, this part of the email to your homeowner. And oh, that's scary. Give me a second. And email it to them and ask them to put it on their wall. Okay. And when they do that, this is not a paid ad. Okay. This will be on Facebook forever. And you know who your clients are communicating with on Facebook? Their friends, their family, and their colleagues, the people they've worked with. And this is what it says. So it's confusing because my name is Vince Ameza, and you can see I'm posting it. But normally this would be your homeowner saying, our home just sold, and we want to recommend you, Bridget, at your office for doing an excellent job. Here's your phone number and email in front of all my friends and family and colleagues so they can call you directly. I have not heard people calling them directly, but I have heard this. Months later, the client's relative logs in, clicks on that link and go, oh, my relative sold this property. That's interesting. And they look and they see that you were the agent. And then boom, old marketing does. It tells you that affects your home value, get your home value, right? So we have clients who use that tool. Most of you don't. You just don't do it. But the ones that do get leads, right? And seller leads for free is a good thing, right? So let's talk about the thing that I think it's one of the biggest mistakes that agents make, especially new agents, when it comes to getting seller leads. Okay. And it has to do with this. So we're on the landing page section. And when you log in, when you sign up for this, you get a bunch of landing pages and you can even create more. Okay. But this is the number one landing page that you all have. I'm going to click the pencil to edit it. Now, I don't know where you are, like what parts of the country that you're in, but if this page does not look like your market, use the button on the left that says background and change that photograph, address and contact information. And if this doesn't look like their area, you're not going to get great results. Okay. So again, I don't know where you are, but you can change this photograph and put something that's like a landmark, a building, a restaurant, a mountain, who knows, a bridge, a building. Doesn't have to be a house. It could be something that everybody in your area is going to know. That's going to make this page work a lot better. Okay. So after you've got that all set, you want to market it. And this is what I think is not excited to see clients do it, because they usually come in the mastermind group and say, I ran an ad and nothing happened, or I got one lead. Do you remember how I was earlier saying when you run sold ads, you get $7 leads? Do you remember me saying that? With name, email, and phone number. That's because we're using lead ads. But here, when you click this, it's all generic. It doesn't talk about your area. Doesn't show a picture of your area. That might not even look like it. But you might type in a city that you want more listings in. Walnut Creek, right? That's by me. And it says traffic. You probably don't know what that means, but you click create ad and you expect to get some seller leads. Let me tell you what traffic means. Traffic means when somebody sees this, they're going to land on this page that I'm opening up right here. Okay. And it asks them for their address. All right. And if they don't give you an email, you're not going to get anything. Right. And most people don't want to give you their email on a form, especially if that page doesn't even look like their area. Right. So most agents spend $50 and they might get one lead from this. Let me point out just the quick change. Please change this to lead ads so that every person that clicks on that they're going to be looking at their name, email, and phone number and a button that says, yes, submit my info. I want that home value. Okay. Don't use traffic, please. But the other bad thing is if I want something in Walnut Creek, this has nothing, this doesn't show anything about Walnut Creek. So how can I fix that? I can go over here to my landing page section and I can create a landing page for home values by clicking create landing page. And let's give it a second. Problem here. Create a landing page called Property Valuation Plus, type in Walnut Creek, and I will have a landing page that says Walnut Creek. I actually created that already. And where is it? Right here. Okay. So this is actually the mall in Walnut Creek. And in our county, this is one of the most popular malls in the entire county, right? 6 million people go to this mall every year. It's a big deal. And right here, there's like bands playing here and there's some shade. It's hot summer. Everybody sits by this fountain. So everybody in Walnut Creek is going to know exactly what that is. And I created that. I just put in a photo of something that meant something to my market. And now when I click marketing, give it a second. Why not run an ad on Facebook? And let's see this and let's talk about some other common mistakes. I wouldn't call them mistakes. They're just the reality. Again, it's saying traffic, right? And I'm not really into traffic because I'm anywhere on the internet, right? I'm sure you think pop up all the time that asks for your contact information. You just ignore it, right? So change it to lead ads. So when they click it, it's going to say, would you like that information? And it says, yes, submit my info. That's first thing. Always do lead ads. Okay. Then it says, what's your location? So I'm going to type in Walnut Creek because my page says Walnut Creek, right? And that's what I'm after. So $50. What's going to happen? I should get leads. But this kind of landing page, Facebook knows what this is. This has been a very popular kind of ad to run. So these leads don't cost $7 each. They can cost between $15 and $20 each. It's not bad depending on the price of your home, that your listings, but they're very expensive. So you can get seller leads cheaper by doing sold ads. But let's just say you want to carry on and do this anyway. I actually think it's a good thing to do, maybe once a month. But let me show you the other challenge that you're going to have with this. So I'm going over to Google Maps. Now, Walnut Creek is like a sub of San Francisco. Okay. It's about half hour away. And it's a great little town. I think there's 33,000 people that live here. There's a BART, there's a subway that goes from this town all the way to the financial district and all the way into San Francisco. So it's like a great suburb and it's pretty, it's clean, it's not overly congested, and people like to live here, right? So you would think, let's go run an ad on Facebook, right? Let's do it, right? But you see this here, this radius, it says 15 miles. That's the tightest you can do an ad on Facebook. You can't type in a zip code and target that. You used to until Facebook got sued, but you can't do that anymore. Okay. And let me show you how that can become problematic. Let's see here. Give me a second. Oh, this is not good. I don't really want this view. This right here is Walnut Creek, but I don't want the kind of satellite view. How the heck did that happen? Let's give it a second. But I have to expand out because remember I have that 15-mile radius. A 15-mile radius. Here's Walnut Creek in the center, right? You see all these cities here and this big city here are going to be seeing my ad that don't live in Walnut Creek. You can probably imagine that, right? So there is a solution to that. There are a lot of companies out there. I'm just naming one RedX does this. Vulcan 7 does this. Remind does this. Arch Agent does this. They sell you a list of homeowners that have owned a home for more than 5 years. You should totally buy that list, especially with your number one farm market. Okay. That list needs to be 1,000 names long. Okay. 1,000 names of people that own their homes for more than 5 years. Okay. And with that list, and you want to make sure you're getting this, you want to get the name, email, phone number, and mailing address. The mailing address, well, you can send just sold postcards and you can send the nearby homeowner letter anytime you sell a home, right? But on my ads page here, there's a button here that says create audience. You can create a custom audience calling it Walnut Creek Homeowners. And it has to look like this with those headers and that information. And you upload it and import it, and this will forever live in your Facebook account. So when you want to target those homeowners, and I talk to realtors obviously every day. So I know some of them they like live in an area where they want to dominate that area. And you're like, oh, some other agent's really crushing it here. And I live here. I want to own this. This is step number one. Go buy that list of homeowners that live here and owned for more than 5 years and upload it on Facebook and be running ads. Like be running an ad on I got an open house. I just listed, or I just sold, or do you want your open house? Do you want your Walnut Creek home value landing page ad? Or do you want to market your listing presentation to the Walnut Creek homeowners? That's what you can do when you have this custom audience. Okay. And let me show you what I mean. So I'm going to go up here. I'm going to create a listing ad and I'm going to create it on that sold property, right? Lead ads means I get name, email, and phone number, and I click create ad, and we have the software, so we write it all up. I see your question there, Sean. I'll answer it in one moment. So you see the location, the way our software works, if the home was in Walnut Creek, it would say Walnut Creek right here. You want to X this out, and you want to click retarget current leads, and then you want to type in that box the name of your file, whatever you call it, Walnut Creek Homeowner, right? Whatever it was. That way, if those people on that list are on Facebook in that 7-day period, they're going to see that. And that makes Facebook incredibly powerful. If you are farming an area, you want to do that. Okay. And then you want to use some of our mailing tools and mail to that same list. And you want to upload that list up into your CRM and start emailing our PDF guides and everything about your listings. You're going to hit that list of people on Facebook in email and in print. That's how you farm with listings to leads. Okay. Sean has a good question here. RedX gives multiple phone numbers for a homeowner. Which do you use? In this case, Sean, I would use all of them. Okay. And what that means is if you have 3 different numbers, create 3 separate lines of the same lead with the different phone number so that one of them is going to be the right. That's what I would do. And any other questions? Getting close to the top of the hour. I think that's all I can say. What I will say is here. It's on follow-ups. You need to have a good, I mentioned it a couple times. Definitely think about what you are doing for follow-ups. We have drip campaigns here for buyers and sellers. And we have integration with many of the top CRMs in this country, real estate CRM. I would gamble that our drip campaigns are better than the top CRM companies that you know, meaning they get in the inbox and they get opened. Every other message has either a PDF guide or a landing page offering value. And if your CRM is not creating appointments for you, I highly recommend you turn off that drip campaign and turn ours on for a little while. Because remember what I said at the beginning of the call is you need to have a real follow-up system if you're going to go out and collect seller. They're not all going to sell with you the day they see your ad or respond to your lead or your advertising, right? So you need to have a real follow-up campaign, and that should involve phone calling at least once a quarter, probably more frequent and early on in the lead cycle. email and text. Stay in front of them, stay top of mind so that they know that you are the realtor who's going to help them. All right. I don't see any other questions. So I really appreciate everybody being here. If you need a team account, I'm going to send something to you right now. If you need a team account, let me know. And I'm Vince at Listings to Leads. And we would really love your feedback on this call so that we can make sure we're giving you what you need there on a call like this. So please I think there's 5 questions on here. I'm sending this survey to you. Please take a moment just to fill that out. And while you're looking at that, I want to remind you how we started the call. If you want more listings, you need to be looking at our expired marketing. You need to be holding open houses. You need to be doing sold advertising, and you need to use Facebook, and you need to use our listing presentation. If you are using all of those parts of our system, you're going to have yourself more listings. And as you already could see, Scott's holding classes to show you how to market those listings. That's the easy one. That's the easy part, right? Getting listings obviously takes more work, but it's very important. I don't see any more questions. I really appreciate you being here. I hope this helped you out. And again, if you need a team account, email me, Vince at Listings to Leads. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. But we do have a really awesome support team right down here on the left. You can call them. You can also just put your question right in the box at the center of this page. The whole team watches it and they respond super fast. Excuse me. Thanks, everybody. Have a great week.